I've got 5 pitchers and 5 hitters within the top 100 that you should be avoiding in drafts this season, and that list is coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Beat the Odds, your source for expert fantasy baseball insights all season long. Spring training is in full swing and the 2025 fantasy baseball season is right around the corner, and I've got 10 players that you want to fade in your fantasy baseball drafts. If you're a fan of this type of content, I'd encourage you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. Now let's jump right into this list here with some pitchers to stay away from. Starting with number 5, we have Luis Castillo. Picking up Mariners starting pitchers usually is a good idea, but the writing might be on the wall for this 32-year-old hurler. We have seen his fastball velo continue to fall for a few years now, and he's getting hit much harder to a tune of an average exit velocity of 89.7 miles per hour. I'd rather pick up Bryce Miller or even stash George Kirby, both of whom go 1 to 2 rounds after Castillo. Let's go to our number 4 pitcher. We have Aaron Nola. I view Nola's 7th round tag as the highest value that he's going to return this season for the high-powered Philly squad. He'll be a good source of wins, but he's coming off a bounce-back season where he lowered his ERA almost 90 points. I'm not seeing much of a difference between grabbing Nola or Zach Eflin for the Orioles, who goes almost 100 picks later. Let's go to number 3. We have Blake Snell. I could have picked pretty much any Dodgers starter here, but I'm going to stick with Snell. He put up a career half season last year with his expected batting average of 178, significantly lower than his average, career average, and easily a career high. I expect some regression from him this season, and grouped that with his injury history, the Dodgers' reliance on the bullpen, and his 10.9 walk percentage, I don't see him returning 4th round value this season. Moving on to number 2, we have Jacob deGrom. deGrom's workload is going to be managed hard this year. He hasn't pitched more than 15 starts in a season since 2019, so projecting that he's going to pass that mark this year carries a lot of risk. But hey, when he's on, he's untouchable. Maybe the Rangers should consider moving him to the bullpen. Not that that would actually ever happen. And finally at number 1, we have Emmanuel Clase. Now Clase is arguably the best closer in the game, so why am I fading him? Well, he's not going to return the .61 ERA or the .66 whip like he did last season. He's not going to give you elite strikeout numbers, and that meltdown against the Yankees in last year's playoffs dropped his stock a bit for me. There's plenty of solid closers past that first tier that could return better value than Clase. Now let's move on to 5 hitters to avoid. Starting with number 5, we have Willy Adames. Now this one's easy. Many fantasy managers new to the game might take a look at Adames' 2024 season and jump on the opportunity to pick up a 30-homer, 20 stolen base shortstop. The only problem is that there's little chance he even comes close to those type of numbers hitting an Oriole Park. Give me a bounce-back season from Bo Bichette that I can get easily 4 to 5 rounds later. Moving on to number 4, we have CJ Abrams. Now, I have discussed Abrams' awful StatCast metrics in the shortstop primer, but it's worth mentioning it again here. His defense is not worthy of a starting shortstop, and his 35% chase rate and his 3.22 strikeouts to walk ratio and 302 career OPS doesn't profile him as a top-of-the-order hitter. I'd look to snag Matt McLean or even Ezekiel Tovar, who goes many rounds later. Let's go to number 3. We have Ozzie Albies. Start Ozzie against lefties, but against righties, you're going to be in a world of hurt. His .653 OPS against right-handed pitchers ranked him 122nd in 2024. Now, I know that the second base pool is shallow, but I'd rather take my chances on Jordan Westburg, who you can snag 6 rounds later and could be in for a breakout season. Moving on to number 2, we have Michael Harris. Now, truthfully, I like Harris. It seems like he has been a borderline star since he stepped into the league. My issue with Harris is it looks like he might be destined for a bottom third of the Braves lineup. Now, if he's being drafted in the 4th round, that's only ever going to make sense if he actually finds himself switching lineup spots with Ozzie Albies. And finally, at number 1, we have Julio Rodriguez. He's still a generational talent, there is no question. He just plays in the worst park for hitters, and he strikes out way too much. He's going in the early 2nd round, and the only way he returns that value is if he avoids his traditional early season slumps and produces out of the gates, and he finds a way to improve his measly 6.2 walk percentage from last season. And that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video, and of course subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'm going to sign off for now, but I will catch you guys on the next episode.